Okay?
10
It's too long.
So, it's too long.
I mean,
it's too long. This person is 3 years old.
3 minutes. 3 minutes, ma'am. Then Keyo stand for 3 minutes, okay? So Keyo, you will just have to be patient, okay? Okay. Look,
he's
now
good,
you
eh?
look. Kendi is touching and then.
Woo! Is it morning? No. Okay. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Kitt Nyang'aya if you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back. I am joined with Mommy again.
Thank you.
Mommy and me. Yeah, your Mommy. Mommy and me segment number 2.
Yep.
Today we're talking about how we work with housekeepers, nannies, whatever you may call
domestic
them.
stuff.
Domestic stuff. And we're just going to go through points 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7 points. Okay? And we're just going to talk about that and our recommendations and our experience.
Okay.
Okay? So, actually...
Okay, my main domestic staff is the person who works around the house with me, and she's female. I'm a homemaker, so we share the work and just basically do it. And so the contract that I have between me and her is actually a casual contract.
Okay.
The Kenya government keeps gazetting the amount of money that you're supposed to pay casual workers.
Yeah.
And so I pay her per day at 500 shillings a day.
Okay.
Yes. So at the end of the week, if she works 5 days, she earns how much? 2,500.
Yeah.
And sometimes she works on 6 days.
Yes.
And because I'm a homestay host, I have guests who come to stay on my Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so sometimes none of us gets a break. We are working 7 days. So how much then does she earn?
In a week?
In a week?
7 days, 3,000.
Yes, 3,500. Yes, so I pay her 3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works perfectly because she's able to earn much more than a lot of domestic workers.
Yeah.
And also it works because she can take leave when she needs to take leave.
Yeah.
And I use the money to hire somebody else to come and fill in the space. I'm not caught up with I've paid money and I don't have people helping me to do the work.
Yeah, and so on a typical month she earns 10,000.
On a typical month she would earn 12,000.
12,000 typical month, maybe like 6 days a week.
6 days a week?
Yeah.
So it's more of 12,000.
Yeah.
But some months she works overtime.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean many more days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also if we have the homestay guests, everybody gets a bonus at the end of the week.
Oh yes.
Yes, so she gets more. So typically she's walking out with like 15,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody messaged me on Instagram saying that they wanted me to look for work for their housekeeper.
Yes.
And that she's a live-in, and she's been working with them for 2 years, and they pay her 6,000.
Yeah, and that is not in accordance to the rates that are provided by the government of Kenya. That person is underpaying them. But you know what? People will pay somebody 6,000 because very many times, if you yourself are earning 10 or 15,000, how much are you paying your maid? And maids have maids. Yeah. So even this one of mine who I pay, who walks out with maybe between 12 and 15,000,
yeah.
What does she then need to pay her maid? I mean, this is Kenya.
Yeah.
So our reality is just our reality. Okay, and now the thing about roles is that because my home is a homestay, we just do the work. So when we wake up in the morning, and if we have a house full of guests, we agree with the people who are on board. So I have my regular full-time domestic worker who is a home manager, and then there's me who is a homemaker.
Yeah.
And then there is other people then that I engage.
Yeah.
And some of them are family members. Yes, so I engage them. Everybody's earning what they're earning per day.
Okay.
From the work. It's 500 shillings. Pay me 500 shillings. I pay somebody else 500 shillings.
So on a regular day, you're constantly discussing, today we're doing ABCD.
Yes, if I'm around.
Yeah.
If I'm gone, she's running the show.
She
and
knows.
She's figuring
she already
out,
knows what
she
to
know,
do.
She knows the work that needs to be done.
Yes.
Because I could be gone. Because I also double up as a consultant.
Yeah.
A social development consultant. So sometimes I'm on a trip and I'm gone to another country for a month. Yes. So she's just basically running it, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
she runs
it
the show.
includes, and I think that it's important for me
Please.
to say this.
Yeah.
It includes making my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bed, some people say your bedroom is a private space. I
Yeah.
have no private spaces, no private
I
drawers.
have no private spaces.
No.
I have no private drawers because I can't
No,
wake up in
I
the
can't do
morning
it.
to go to work, and my work is, I mean, nowadays I'm not visiting people, but my work is I have to go to people's homes.
Yes.
But I have to mop my
Yes.
room first.
Yes, mop under my bed, make my bed, and I've left a man sleeping on it, and I'm still trying to make the bed. And
Bed.
I'm,
I don't get it.
And
I don't
then,
get it.
you know-
So if I wake up before him, does that mean that my room stays unmade the whole day? I don't
yeah,
know.
and if he doesn't see his role as a role of making
Making
beds,
the bed.
then that means that my bed is no, I'm running a hotel. Beds are made by whoever makes the bed. Kwisha maneno,
Kwisha.
toilets are washed.
That's it. Number
Yeah.
3. Many of my followers have young children, so they're not like you, older children. All their children are young. So let's talk about priorities in terms of how you deal with the housekeeper, stroke nanny, around children, housework, all of that.
When my children were really small, little children,
Like mine.
like yours,
I have little children now.
yes, and this was my little child. I remember when my children were really small, I remember coming home one day and the house was really clean and the children were clean, but they were just so organized and sitting in a corner. They were overly organized, and I thought, no, this isn't right. These are children. Organized. The house is overly organized. The food is it's really, I can't say it's overcooked, but it's well cooked. Huh? Everything is good. Yeah, but you know, with that I realized that my children are not getting to be children enough, and I told the maid, I don't care about this house being clean too much
Yeah.
or tidied too much. They're very small children. I want them happy. And so after that, I'd come home and the children had an awesome day.
Yeah.
And they want to tell me what they've been doing and they're thrilled. They spend the day laughing and dancing around with the maid and taking a walk and seeing things in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And picking worms in the garden, and they just had the most beautiful time, and the house is not looking so good, and I'm like, it shall be cleaned one day. They
One
will
day.
turn 20.
One
and
day.
they did.
Yeah, we did.
They turned out pretty good. Yes. Yeah, I don't like supervising people. I like people who are self-supervised. It irritates me because people don't pay me supervision fees. So once we've agreed on what your role is and agreed on what my role is, don't be supervising me, and I shan't be supervising you,
know-
unless you want to pay me for it. Huh?
One-
so no.
One time, one of my nannies asked me, "So today, what will we have for dinner?" And I said, "That one." Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And she laughed.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that is your job.
Yes.
My job is to go out and get the dinner, like the food, the ingredients.
yes.
Then when I come home, I find you have cooked it.
Yes.
So don't use my head to
Run the
run
show.
your job."
Exactly.
She laughed, and you find that my friend Barbara says the housekeepers that I have seem to have a higher level of education.
No.
Or a higher play, like they kind of are figuring it out themselves. It's because I'm hands off. Once I've told you what to do, I will not show you how to cook chapati. You might cook it better than me.
Exactly. And
You
how
cook,
many? Yes.
bring, we eat.
Yeah,
If
and
we
if-
don't like it, then
will
I'll
figure it
show you
out.
mine.
Yes.
But if we like yours better, how will I ever know?
Yes. And how do I ever learn from my domestic staff? I have learned so many things.
So
I
much.
learned, yes, from one domestic staff. I
Yes.
learned how to iron my bed sheets
Yeah.
on the bed.
Yeah.
You know, I always used to take it out and go and put it on a
the-
table
oh my
or on the
goodness.
ironing board, and the bed sheet or the duvet is
So
so big.
big.
The duvet cover. You know, you just keep rolling it over, and it by the time you're putting it on the bed, it's creased again. Yes. So one time I walk in and she's ironing it on the bed, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what
What are you doing?
are you doing?
He said
And
you
she said,
spread.
but you spread it and then you iron it, and then that way it really comes out proper. I said, there.
We are.
Yes.
That's
yeah,
it.
we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that thing of, if I may say, the micromanaging has
Yeah.
to come. It comes certainly from women having insecurities.
Yeah.
And you just have a power management issue. So
Yeah.
you cannot let it go. You want to teach them how to do everything. And then also, you can't allow them to serve your husband food. That thing, I hear it. It's some village talk, your village myth. That village myth, no please.
Village myth.
Yeah, and then that husband is always eating in restaurants and being served by some skimpily dressed waitress. And you have an issue at if somebody serves my husband. Oh, please.
Please.
If
If it is food that will make your husband wonder.
he's wondering anyway.
Is it?
Yes. And you know what, Kit, I want to say this.
Yes.
How are you ever going to be an ambassador and be in a different country from your husband if you have to get over and put every meal into his mouth? What baby boy is that? Just ambassador lady, just continue, grow, be somebody who can grow. Don't be tethered to roles that do not allow you to grow. And hire people who are intelligent, and you can allow them to run the office, figure out what meal to cook for dinner. Otherwise, my house just becomes such a horrible burden.
Yes.
I need a holiday from my house.
It is a horrible burden.
Horrible.
Absolutely. Let's talk.
Yeah, there are things that people do with domestic staff that are not legal. Like, for instance, if my maid, I'm hiring a maid, I will ask them to give me a copy of their ID card, and that's copy. Then we can write a contract, and she can sign the contract. And when every time I'm doing a payment, we can agree that there's a signature appended to that.
You cannot hold somebody's ID.
No,
That is called trafficking.
That's trafficking. You can't.
You can't hold their government document.
No, and one day when somebody does that trafficking to you, you deserved it. That's what you invested. You planted it. You had it coming.
Woo.
Yeah, and people do get trafficked, and people do get into slave trade in ways that they never expected. And everything that comes to you in your office that's nasty is based on things like those that you do. You planted it. Dignity is really, really important. Shouting at somebody and that person is an adult. If I do that thing, 360th needs to come round to me quickly.
Slap you in the
My
face.
God must be awake to the indignities that I give my maid. If I'm speaking rudely to her and disrespectfully to her, in ways that I would never want anybody to speak to me,
In a workplace.
in a workplace,
That is where she works. It's her office.
it's her office. This is somebody who woke up and brushed their teeth and came to work, and I'm speaking to them like they're a child. And sometimes I'm also speaking to them in front of my own children in ways that are dishonoring dignity.
And teaching your children to speak to her that way.
And to find adults and speak to adults like that, so that my children start categorizing respect
Yes.
based on
job.
jobs or class specifications.
Yes.
If my children respect people based on that
Yes.
class specifications,
Yeah.
I have a problem. That's a huge problem, because we must be people who respect people no matter what job role they hold.
Absolutely.
So there is no reason as to why I should respect the governor of the county of Homa Bay more than I respect my domestic workers.
Yeah.
No reason
There's
whatsoever.
no reason whatsoever.
Yes.
And Dr. Mukolwe, who is a teacher at the Navigators, once said, do you think that people wake up from 6 years old, 7 years old, dreaming of becoming a housekeeper?
Good question.
Is this their dream job?
No.
Have they reached? Aren't they here because of circumstances or because of where they are in life and how
Yes.
much education they have had? And
Yes.
so they come to you untrained in the job because, I mean, in Africa, why should you train somebody to run the house? Why should you train a woman to run the house? She is born that way, right?
Yeah.
She is born knowing how
Yes.
to run the house. So it's
a horrible
untrained,
assumption.
it is an untrained profession.
Yes.
And when she comes into your home, you don't train her, but you expect her to know everything.
Yes.
And also, you're very quick you're going to change her quickly if she doesn't do it the way you want.
Yes, and then you want to fire her, and you are sneaky about it.
Talk to her badly about it. You fire her on the spot.
Yeah, and very sneaky about it also.
Yeah, so she'll wash the roof, wash the curtains, dust the
Yeah.
carpet.
Yeah.
In the evening, you're fired.
Yeah, yeah, and she didn't even see it coming. And when I let domestic staff go for whatever reason, the one thing I never do is look into their bags to try and figure out what they've carried. My baby isn't inside that bag.
Your baby is not inside the bag.
But
But
the fridge isn't inside that
goes
bag.
that goes with the whole, we don't even lock our rooms anyway.
Yeah.
How can I leave the housekeeper with my most prized possession, which are my children, and then lock my jewelry?
bedroom. Yeah, like what was that? If I can't trust this person,
What are we actually doing?
Yes.
If you cannot trust the person to work for you,
Yes.
you can't trust the person to work for you.
Yep. So the lady who brought up Kitt and Tawi and Mitch,
Yes.
she stayed with me for 14 years. Her
Yeah.
name was Mary. And she stayed from when Kitt was born until Kitt was 14.
Yeah.
And when she left, when she was getting ready to leave, we let people know I think a month before, members of our family, and we all threw a big farewell party so that members of our family and our friends could come and bring gifts to her.
Yes.
And help her to move on with her
Yes.
new life.
Yes.
Because she was getting ready to go and start a business. So people brought her gas cooker, people brought her books to give her advice on business. All kinds of things that
Yeah.
that helped her to move on, and people brought her a lot of money gifts.
Yes.
So that she had money in her hands to also go with.
Amazing.
And that
Well
was
done.
dignity.
And I have learned so much from you with how you treat your staff, and that is how I treat my staff.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I get a lot of feedback from my staff that I'm different. There's something different
Well
about
done.
how I treat them. That's from you.
Well done.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about how to deal with housekeepers and nannies and your domestic staff at home, just comment in the comment section below, ask the questions, and we're going to do a follow-up video, right, Mommy?
Yes, we shall.
We're so happy to do
Yes.
it. We're having the best time.
Yes. Marvelous. Well done.
Thank you so much for joining us for this segment. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. Bye.